All right, guys, I think we'll go ahead and get started since it's a minute after 10. So I'm really excited today to be teaching you guys all about Zoom. And I see a few of you are on your video, and you're more than welcome to do that. I will just ask that you keep yourself muted during today's presentation. If you do have a question, I'll be teaching you guys about this awesome little chat tool, and so you can definitely use that to send me a chat. So anyway, I hope you guys have had a wonderful morning so far. I'm still drinking my coffee, trying to wake up a little bit, but I'm super excited. And thank you so much to the Warren County Economic Development Office, and then also to Vance Granville Community College, their Small Business Center. I know that we have Sherry on the call, and she's been really fantastic organizing this, and also Stacy Woodhouse from Warren County. So thank you guys. So we'll go ahead and get started. And today we're part one in an 8-part series, and it's called Doing Business Remotely is the series. And so it's every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to put it on your calendar at 10 a.m. is when we're going to be teaching these classes. They'll run for about an hour and a half or so. And that also leaves time for some questions. So definitely would love to see you guys for a few more of them. And today we're going to be talking all about Zoom video communication. So for those of you on video, raise your hand if you've ever used Zoom before today. If you just want to put a show of hands. Okay. Candy, Patricia, awesome. Very cool. So hopefully this will be a nice little refresher, or maybe if you've never used it, if this is your very first time, hopefully you guys can learn a little something new. So we'll go ahead and get started. So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce myself. And my name is Kristen. I'm the one right here. I'm circling myself. And that this is my wonderful team. We have an amazing team of photographers, graphic designers, social media managers, website designers, the list goes on. And so I'm really lucky to have built this company. We're a small business, and we are based in Warrenton. So we've just got an office in the downtown area, which I'm really excited about. And most of us are actually remote workers. So I've been using tools like Zoom and some of the other ones that we'll talk about during this series with my team for more than 3+ years. So it's something that I feel pretty savvy in, and I'm really excited to share these skills with you guys. So you will have access to this presentation afterwards, so don't feel like you have to jot down my contact info, but it will be emailed to you. So I just put up our website, which is tabletopmediagroup.com. And then also our email address, it's just info@tabletopmediagroup.com. And then our social media handles, it's at tabletopmediagp for group. And I actually just posted on my Instagram account, if you guys want to go check it out, of the command center from today, which I thought was kind of fun. So it's really awesome. I'm using the center here at the Warren County Armory, and they have an amazing computer lab open to business owners. So fun little tip. So I always like to start off with this pretty interesting stat. So this kind of blew my mind when I was doing a little bit of research the other day about Zoom. So Zoom has added 2.22 million monthly active users just so far in 2020, which is absolutely crazy. And in 2019, it had added 1.99 million. So for the entire year of 2019, it only added 1.99. And so far, and the stat is from the end of February, they've already added 2.22 million. So that just goes to show you how much virtual tools are really taking off. And especially during this pandemic that our nation and our world is experiencing, this tool has been used quite a bit. And I would even be surprised. I'm sure that this number has gone up tremendously since they pulled this stat. So I thought that was kind of an interesting one. I know that we've been using it for a few years, but I have a lot of friends that are just now using Zoom for the very first time, a lot of small businesses that are. My grandparents and I actually just did a Zoom call. So that was pretty cool. So, people of all ages are using it, and it's just a great tool to be able to connect face to face. You can see people, chat, share your screen, and we'll talk all about the bells and whistles of this today. So today's topic, we're going to talk all things Zoom, and I just wanted to briefly go over some of the subject areas that we'll be discussing. So, number one, we'll talk about what exactly is Zoom, and then the three main features of Zoom. Number three, choosing the right plan. There's a variety of different plans that you can pick from, and there are four, and we'll go over those today. And then the fourth area that we'll discuss is how to use Zoom, how you can schedule a meeting, how to join a Zoom meeting, which hopefully you guys are all old pros at since you're on this call. And then the fundamentals of Zoom and breakout rooms. And then number five, we're going to have a little bit of fun and we'll teach you about virtual backgrounds. And then number six, collecting info and who attended your Zoom meeting. So, what exactly is Zoom? So, you're probably a little bit familiar with what Zoom is, but it's a cloud based tool. That just means it lives on the internet that helps you to meet with your team through web conferencing and collaboration. And then you'll see on social media, a lot of people do hashtag Zoom meeting, and that's a fun hashtag you can use. What a lot of people do is they'll take a photo or a screenshot of their screen with all their colleagues or their family members and post that on social and say, I'm having a hashtag Zoom meeting. And that's just a tool for using a video conference tool, Zoom, to have a meeting. So just something fun that you can do. I use that hashtag today on social media, and you could go look it up and see what other people are doing on Zoom. And then how to access Zoom. So I don't know how many of you guys just used your web browser, but that's probably the easiest way to join is just using that web browser link that was sent to you in a Zoom invite. And then you click it and it just prompts you through some easy steps to launch it through your web browser. And you can use things like I'm on Chrome, for instance, or Safari. And then another option is that there's a desktop app. And so we have that on the computer here. I also have it on my laptop, and it's available for Windows and Mac operating systems. And then there's also a mobile app. I will say the mobile app, I do really like it, but I think that the computer has more just functions and it's a little bit easier to use. The mobile app doesn't have as many bells and whistles, I would say, as the computer does. So the mobile app, you can find it though on Android and on Apple. So definitely look out for it in your app store. It's really fun to use. Like I'll use it whenever, like last night when we had a Zoom family call, there were eight of us, eight family members on Zoom, and I just used my phone because I'm not really doing anything super collaborative, like sharing my screen or things like that. So, what are Zoom's three core features? So, in my opinion, these are the top three features, and I just wanted to go over those with you. So, the first feature is that Zoom has some really great one on one meeting capabilities. So, with the basic plan, and we'll get into pricing in just a little bit, but the basic plan allows you to host unlimited one on one meetings. So, even with the free plan. So, if I wanted to, call one of my colleagues or if I wanted to call a client, I can easily do that with the basic Zoom plan. And then the second core feature is that Zoom allows group video conferences. So this is what we're doing right now. So Zoom allows you to host up to 500 participants. You have to purchase an add-on, but it will allow you to host up to 500 people. So that's a huge capability. I've seen a lot of companies using Zoom for conferences, virtual like conferences that might be a couple of days long, or maybe they're having like a big board meeting where they have, a lot of different members on their board. And the free plan, however, just to keep in mind, allows you to host video conferences of up to 40 minutes, and it's only for up to 100 participants. And then the third core feature is screen sharing. That's actually what I'm doing right now. So I'll go into how to share your screen in just a little bit, but it's super simple and you can actually annotate your screen and do some really cool things. So screen sharing, you can meet one-on-one or with large groups and share your screen. So like I said, what I'm doing right now, and they can see what you see. So pretty awesome feature. So choosing the right plan. So what's exactly the right plan for you? So I know a lot of you guys that are on the call today are small business owners, or maybe you're just curious about how to use Zoom for your company. And so there are four plans, but I'm only going over three of them today, just because I felt like these three would be a little bit more reasonable for the business owners that are on the call today. So the first one is the free plan, and it allows you to host 100 participants. You have unlimited one-on-one meetings, but there is a 40-minute limit. So something to keep in mind, if I was using the free plan and if we were having this call today, it would kick me off automatically after 40 minutes. So if you are planning to have larger brainstorming sessions or larger or longer team calls, I would definitely suggest popping up a level to the pro plan. But another little trick though, if your team doesn't mind, if it kicks you off after 40 minutes, you can just send a new meeting invite and then pop on a new Zoom link. So just something to keep in mind, a little hack to get around things. And then you do have an unlimited number of meetings and then ticket support. So if you ever need Zoom's help with something or you're not sure how to do something, you can send them a ticket and they'll respond back to you. So it's definitely a great plan and something that I think is really cool that they're offering people, especially during this time that's going on globally. Then the second level is the Pro plan. So the Pro plan is $14.99 a month, and it includes all basic features that we just mentioned in the free plan. And then it also has a 24-hour meeting duration. So I know I mentioned earlier how some people are using Zoom for conferences. Well, there's a founder in the Raleigh area, Jess is her name. She founded Headbands for Hope. So she actually just hosted a virtual conference and she used Zoom. And so she was able to schedule it for like a 24-hour meeting duration and have like breakout sessions and different things like that using Zoom. So I thought that was a really cool thing that she was able to do. And then the Pro plan also allows you to pull some reports, which we will be going over towards the end of this presentation. But it's really helpful. Like I know Sherry and I were talking that for the community college, she has to pull, who attended or things like that and provide reporting back to the college. And so that's really cool that we could go in Zoom, pull reports, how many people were on, and any kind of information that we collected about the people that were watching and listening to the call. And then there is an admin feature control, which just gives you a little bit more control and allows you to set people like assign a scheduler, for instance. So say I'm the admin, maybe I want one of the women on my team to be the scheduler. So I could assign it to Quinn from my team, and then she could schedule out all of my Zoom meetings for me. So it kind of takes the load off of me. So something kind of fun that you can do. And then it does let you have a custom meeting ID and then a Zoom cloud space. It gives you 1 gigabyte of this. And so what I really love about the Zoom cloud is that if you want to record your meeting, it will save it in the Zoom cloud instead of on your computer. So as we know, videos and audio take up a lot of space on your computer. So if you're looking for a really great plan that will let you store some of these calls for future reference and store some of these video, that's something that's pretty unique about the Pro. So definitely something to keep in mind. And then the business plan is the third level, and that's $19.99 a month. And it includes all the Pro features that we just went over, but you can have up to 300 participants. So that's a really great jump. So from 100 to 300. And then you do have dedicated phone support. So say you have a question, you can instantaneously call Zoom and they'll be able to help you. And then you also have a vanity URL. So it's kind of like a white label is what I like to consider it. So maybe your business is called Tabletop Media Group and you want to have like a Zoom link that's unique to Tabletop Media Group. I could do that. And then you also have some company branding options. So I think that's a really great one to be aware of as well. And then the fourth level, I didn't include it in here, but it's the enterprise level and it's a bit more expensive. And it just is mainly for really, really large companies. And I just didn't think that one for purposes today would be something that would be great to go over. But you can go to zoom.com or zoom.us. They take you to the same platform. If you go to one of those, you can see all the different pricing broken out, and then you can select your plan. And keep in mind that you can always upgrade and then also downgrade if you need. So I would just start with the free plan and just see how it works for you and your business. And then if you are using it, for longer than 40 minutes or different things like that, you could upgrade to that Pro plan and go from there. All right, so I included a video here, but I am actually going to show you guys how to schedule a meeting. But for the future, if you do want to watch this video, I'm going to also put it up on our YouTube link at Tabletop Media Group's YouTube, but it's just going over how to schedule a meeting. So I'm going to turn off this presentation, and then we're going to go over to the Zoom screen. So I wanted to show you guys how to easily schedule a meeting, and all you have to do is go to zoom.us or zoom.com and then sign into your account. So you have to have an account created. But once you're in your account, you'll go over to under personal, there's a section that says meetings. So you'll click on meetings, and then you can see right here, actually, there's a little green dot says Zoom video communications. That's the meeting that we're on right now. And so I have the ability as the admin and as the host, I could say end if I needed to or whatnot, but you'll see that this one is actually going on right now. And then you'll see all of our upcoming meetings under this tab. So we have the one about Google Suite coming up on April 9th and then April 14th and so on. And so that's a pretty great tool for you as the host. And then you can also see previous meetings. Stacy and I actually did a test meeting today at 9:30 just to make sure everything was working great. And so you can see that we had one at 9:30. The topic was test, and I could delete this if I wanted to, or I could keep it here. So if you want to schedule a new meeting, you simply just go to the meeting button and then click this blue button that says schedule a new meeting. So once this pulls up, you'll have quite a few options. You'll see there's a bunch of options, and we'll go through those today. So for the topic, let's say we're doing a family Zoom call. I'm just using that as a fun example. So family Zoom call. And then I can do a description. It is optional. So if you did want to do a little description, you could. I know for the Zoom call that we did today, we entered the meeting description under there about what we would be covering today. So I'll just type ABCD just as an example. And then when, so you can schedule these out very, very far. So if I wanted to schedule one for October 2nd, let's go ahead and do that. And then you can pick whatever time you would like, AM or PM. So we'll set it for 9:30 AM. And then, like I said, on the free version, it will actually, if you go over 40 minutes, it will actually pop up a little button that says that you're not allowed to schedule it for longer than 40 minutes. But since we have a more advanced plan for the Warren County EDC, I'm able to select a lot longer. So I'm going to select 2 hours. And then you can also choose your time zone. It's already set for Eastern time. And then a pretty neat option is that you can say that you want to have a recurring meeting. And so I have a client who's a restaurant, and obviously right now it's been a really difficult time for them. And we have been doing weekly Zoom meetings with them. And so that's been really helpful to just go over things that are changing, because as you can imagine, stuff is changing left and right for the restaurant industry right now. And so it's been really helpful to have that recurring weekly meeting. And so we have it every week. So I would put weekly every week, and then we have our meetings on Wednesday. And so I could set it like that, and then I can have an end date, maybe I want to put it as September 8th or something, or after certain number of occurrences. So that's been really great for us to use with my business, is just scheduling out those recurring meetings for the client. And once you schedule it, it goes on their calendar for every single recurring meeting. So you don't have to keep on sending an invite over and over again. So just a fun little tip right there. Then registration. This is a great one. I know that a lot of folks like to use this just to gather information. So attendees can register, and you can actually set what questions you want to ask them, which is pretty cool. So you can say that you would like for them to register once and can attend any of the occurrences, or they need to register for each meeting occurrence, or they can register once and choose one or more occurrences to attend. So just a great little tool right there. And you do have to go into your settings and set those questions that you want to gather for the registration information. And we'll show you guys how to do that here in a bit. And then you can require a meeting password to join, or you can turn that button off if you want. And then video. So this tab, some people have questions about this, and I definitely want to answer this. So video means that whenever you start the Zoom meeting, I'm going to select on, because I'm the host. I want my video to automatically show. Or since I'm the host and I'm getting everything set up, I don't want you guys to see me until I'm ready. So maybe I want to hit the off button. And then also for participants, so for all of you guys watching, I have the option of selecting that your video comes on automatically when it starts or off. So I usually recommend just to turn it off until you're ready to go, and then you can get things set up once you're in the Zoom meeting. Just my recommendation. And then for audio, I always select both just in case somebody's computer is not working and they want to call in via their telephone. So that's something you can do. Or you could just select telephone or just computer audio. But I always say select both just to be conscious of allowing your participants to access your meeting. And then meeting options, I always leave this one unchecked pretty much every time, unless it's just like my team or something like that. But this meeting option is enable join before host. So if you're the participant, you could pop on into the room if I have this selected and I wouldn't be there as a host. But it just gives me a little bit more control as a host. So I usually leave that unchecked. So that way I have to be in first before any of you guys can start talking or enter the room. And then mute participants upon entry. This is a great one if you have that option with your Zoom plan. So I know I mentioned earlier on the call, I just like for everybody to be muted because sometimes there can be like crazy background noise and it's just very distracting to you as a host. So I usually select that option. And then you can enable a waiting room. So the waiting room, whenever you're a host, if somebody is trying to join the Zoom meeting, there'll be a little button that pops up, a little window, and it'll say, Candy is requesting to enter the room. Do you want to accept or deny them entry? And so then me as the host, I can select accept because I know that she's one of the registered participants. Or maybe it's somebody crazy out there who's trying to get into my Zoom meeting and I don't want them in, I can hit deny. So just a great tool to make sure that you have enabled. And then this one right here, I'm going to jump down, record the meeting automatically. So that's something that we're actually doing right now. So we're recording this meeting and then you can hear all the audio and all the video from today and then refer back to it. So it's something really great when you're doing like a class like this, or maybe you're doing like a big brainstorm session and you want to record it for your team, or perhaps I have a lot of churches that I know around here that are using Zoom. So maybe you want to record the church service that you're doing. So that's kind of a cool option that you can use. And then lastly, alternative host. This is a really great one. I could have added Sherry, for instance, from Vance Granville Community College from the Small Business Center. I could have had her as an alternative host, and she'd be able to see most of the admin settings as well and help me like answer questions during this call if I wanted. And so it just gives that host the same controls as you. And then once you want to save your meeting, you just hit the blue button, save, and it will now appear when you click on meetings, and it would be right here. So that's how you schedule a meeting. So I just wanted to go over that with you guys. And then now we're going to pop down. I'm going to play a video real quick from Zoom. And so I'm going to select to allow you guys to hear my computer sound. So we're going to go ahead and watch this video real quick.
Today we will be going over how to join a Zoom meeting. We've got a couple options, but we'll go through the first one via email invitation. Once you receive an email invitation for a Zoom meeting, you can quickly view the join link from the invitation. You can click this invitation and you will be prompted to either download or launch Zoom. If you see this message waiting for host to start this meeting, that means the host has not started the meeting on their side yet, and you can go through while you're waiting on them, test your computer audio, select your input levels, select your video, and go through and select your virtual backgrounds. Your second option is to directly join Zoom meetings from the Zoom application. You can view all your upcoming meetings under the Meetings tab and quickly select Join. If you have any questions on joining a meeting, please contact us at zoom.us. Thank you.
Awesome. So that was just how to hang on, let me turn off my computer sound. So that was just how you can actually join a Zoom meeting. And I wanted to be sure to go over that with you guys. I know that you're all here on the call, so you successfully joined a Zoom meeting. But I do think going over how to join Zoom via the computer app is something pretty cool. And I really do love their app. I'm going to pull it up just so you can see what it looks like. So basically, you just pop it open and then you can enter your email. So I'm going to use Stacy's email. And then you just insert your password and then you can sign in. And so it signs you into the direct app. And then like she mentioned on the video, you can see the chat function and you can chat with contacts that you have via Zoom. So if any of you guys have ever used Skype or a tool like that, you can actually add contacts into like your Skype account or now your Zoom account, and you can go and chat with them directly, which is pretty neat. And then you can see, like she mentioned, all your upcoming meetings, and then you can copy invitations and also join the meetings through here. So something pretty cool that you can use. And there's also a tab return back to the meeting. So I really do like this feature. It's just clean and keeps things organized all in one place. Otherwise, you can just use your web browser like we also discussed a little bit earlier. So now we're going to start learning the fundamental meeting controls of Zooms. So I'm going to turn off this presentation and pop back over to the Zoom window. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to share my screen. Oh, sorry guys, hold on. Okay, let's see here. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get it back into the full screen. 1 second. Why is this not working? Okay, here we go. All right, so can everybody see all of the little buttons here and all the participants? If you want to put your thumb up, like, can you see Candy that I'm hovering over? Okay, cool. Perfect. So I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from a host perspective. I can see all of the participants right here. So I can see Candy. She's in my my upper left. There's me as the host. Patricia is over here. You can see everybody. And so as the host, one of the cool features is that you can unmute and mute people. And so Candy, can I unmute you? Is that okay? All right. So I'm going to unmute her as the host. And now we'll have Candy say hello to everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So that's awesome. That's a fun tool as a host you can do. You can mute and unmute people. So like I mentioned, if Candy had some loud noise going on in the background and we didn't want to hear that, I would just simply click that button, mute. And then something else you can do is you can chat with her directly through this tool. You can also make her a host if you wanted. You can rename her and different things like that. So some fun features right there that I really like. And then I did want to show you guys what the chat button looks like. So when you're in Zoom, you can click this button that says chat. And so, okay, my large screen is still showing your homepage with the icons. Yes, that is correct, Michelle. Do you see the chat button now, Michelle? If you just want to type in or give me a thumbs up. Hopefully she can see it, but does everybody see this chat button if you want to give me a thumbs up? Okay, perfect. Awesome. So the chat feature is really great. You get it through going to this more button that'll pop up and it'll say chat. And so you can click on chat. And then as the host, I can type a message to everyone. And so I would love for us to all practice using the chat feature. So go down to the bottom where it says more and hit chat. So if you want to go ahead and pull that up on your Zoom, and then I'm going to type a question to you guys via the chat, and I'm not going to say it, so we're going to have to practice. Okay, I just sent my question to everyone, and then I want you to use the button to everyone in meeting and type back to me the answer. Awesome. Man, we got a lot of Italian food lovers, huh? Pizza, seafood, pasta. Nice. Crab legs. That's a good one, Tanya. Fish. That's awesome. Very cool. So you guys got the hang of it. So we got ribs, fish, pizza, chicken. It sounds like we need to have a cookout, huh? Or maybe we should have ordered pizza for everybody delivered to your house. That's awesome. So another cool feature is that say, I'm going to pick on Gracie. So say Gracie is having a lot of feedback and I have to keep muting her and she keeps unmuting herself. She's being a problem child for us. Maybe as the host, I could just pop into the chat and say, hey, Gracie, your background noise is really loud or something. There you go. So I'm going to type that and I'm going to send that to her. So I can send a private message to her and then Gracie would just get an alert and then she can choose to privately chat back with me. So that's another really cool feature. And then you guys should be able to chat privately amongst each other too. I have that feature turned on. So say like Heather Barnes wants to, Gracie said, okay, sorry. I love it. But say I want to just chat with Heather and she just wants to chat back with me, she can do that. Or maybe Heather wants to chat with Gracie. They can chat amongst each other. So it's kind of fun. Like if you know somebody on the Zoom call and you want to talk with them, sometimes I'll use that on a conference call. If I'm on a larger conference call and I see one of my colleagues pop on, I'll just say hi. So that's a really great feature. And I'm gonna, yep, Tanya just said, is this working as a private message? It totally worked. And so then I can go back down and find Tanya's name and I can type back to her privately. So just a cool feature, but make sure that if you want to send somebody a private message that you're just selecting them. Don't send something private to everybody. And so Tanika is saying, how do you get all the names to pop up? So you'll see the to button and it should allow you to scroll down and see those names right there. Let me make sure I don't, yeah, so I have a feature right here. There's a ... You click on that as the host, and I can say the participant can chat with everyone publicly and privately. So it should have all the names that pop open. And so Amy said, how do you chat privately? So say, Amy, you just want to chat with me privately. You just scroll down and find my name, and then you could chat with me and it'll pop up that you're chatting with me privately. So Sherry, it says that you cannot see the screen. Can you guys see the chat screen that I'm using? Okay. So Sherry, if you just look over, I'm going to make it bigger. Can you guys see that? Okay, cool. So this is the little button, just as a refresher, down where it says to, you'll click on this and you can chat with everyone in the meeting, or you can select Amy and I want to chat with you privately, and then I can send you a private message. So that's how you do that. You just select which participant you want to chat privately with, and there we go. Awesome. And then like I mentioned earlier, as the host, there are those little dots right here, and you can say that I only want to have everyone chat publicly, not privately, or I want nobody to chat, for instance, or something along those lines. So I have the control as the host to select the settings there. So perfect. Cool. So I'll keep the chat up. I think it's a fun feature to be able to use. And then we're going to go over some other controls on Zoom. So if you'll look up near the top of the screen, there is a mute button here. So whenever you're on Zoom, you want to make sure that you're not on mute if you're trying to talk. So just hover over this. If you're talking, it will show up as like you see the green moving around kind of up and down as I'm talking. So the microphone will show. If I want to mute myself, I simply just click this button. So yeah, it mutes it automatically. So you can just click that. But then if you're having some trouble with your audio, I know last night on my family Zoom call, my grandpa was having a lot of issues with his microphone. And so we had to do some tests. So what you want to do is click this little drop down arrow button, and it will pull up some options for you. So you can select what microphone you want to use. So we're using the microphone number 2. So I have that selected. And then you can also select what speakers you want to use. And then there is an ability to test your speaker and microphone. Does everyone see this? Where it says, do you hear a ringtone? Okay, cool. So what it's doing right now is it's testing my speaker. And so in my headphones, I'm hearing some chimes. And so I can say, yes, I hear this. Okay, sorry, I have a couple people. Let's see. Can you guys see the section that says testing microphone, speak and pause? Do you hear a reply? Okay. All right, let me try a new share. Let's see. Huh. Okay. Can you guys see the settings that I'm showing you? That says audio settings. Okay. I wonder, it's probably not showing you. Oh, you can see it now? Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right. So we have our chat over here on the left, and then the audio settings. So you can go down, there's the mute button, and you can click the arrow button, and then there's a drop down that says audio settings. And so it'll pull up this, and you can test out your microphone, and you can see that it's clearly working for me because it's showing my input level. And then you can also test out your speaker. So you'll just hit test, and it will actually have a chime that comes in through your speaker. And so I have my headphones selected as my speaker. And so I was able to hear chimes. And then when I hit test speaker, it's sending me that test. And then I can hit stop just to make sure that it's working. And then I can adjust my volume through here. I can adjust the volume of my microphone over here. And so it's a great button just to make sure that you have all of your settings set up. And I usually recommend doing this before you pop on the Zoom meeting as the host, just to make sure you can hear everything. And then there is the video section. So you guys can see me now. And so you can actually select to mirror your video. There's a fun button, touch up my appearance, which I really like. It'll make you look a little bit airbrushed if you're not looking too hot in the morning. And then there's also, you can select what camera. So we're using the webcam that's built into the computer right now. But if you did have another camera that you wanted to connect maybe to the top of your computer, you could do that, and just make sure that you're selecting the right video camera. And then meetings. So under the video setting, you'll scroll down to meetings, and you can, as the host, hide non-video participants. You can spotlight the video when you're speaking. You can have a different gallery view that has up to 49 participants in your gallery view. And when I say gallery view, it means all the people that you're seeing on your screen. And then you can have another option, turn off your video when joining a meeting. So definitely suggest just kind of playing around with it. And if for some reason you're just not showing your video, you can select the troubleshooting button, and it will walk you through how to troubleshoot and how to get back to being able to see yourself on video. So something funny that happened last night on my family Zoom call is my grandparents turned themselves upside down, and we were all laughing so hard. So if you accidentally do that, go to your video setting, and there's a little button right here that says rotate. Do you guys see that? And so I'm able to turn myself upside down, see? So it's just something kind of funny. You don't want to be upside down the entire meeting because it just looks a little silly. So want to make sure that you can rotate yourself back. I wasn't sure if he did that on purpose just to be funny or it just accidentally happened, but we'll never know. And then the share screen button. So you can choose different options when you're sharing your screen. So you can enter full screen when the participant shares your screen. So like I was just doing for the Zoom presentation, it will automatically enter a full screen for you guys. And then there are some other different types of settings that you can play around with. And then the chat button. So these are all of the kind of bells and whistles to the chat button. You can do all sorts of different things, show an unread message badge as the host. So say Linda is chatting with me and I want to be able to make sure as the host I'm seeing that I have an unread message. I can select this and a little badge will pop up in my corner to alert me that Linda has chatted me. And so I can go over and make sure I'm taking a look at that. And it'll allow you to have like push notifications if you'd like. And there's all sorts of kind of tools here. And then we'll go over the virtual background in a little bit. That's one of my most favorite settings, but we'll talk about that when we have a little bit of fun. And then a recording. So I know I mentioned earlier to you guys, this is really helpful. Maybe, I don't know if any of you guys here are watching any like virtual webinars or church services or different things like that on Zoom, but the host can record that and then maybe put it up on YouTube for later. And so this recording button, you can select where you want it to go locally. So say I'm, about to host a church service on a Sunday morning. I want to make sure that this recording button is turned on and I have it correctly where I want my file to be saved. So you can open this and change your recording settings. Sorry, I have screens everywhere. And you can just make sure that it's saved properly to your computer. So right now we have it in our document section. Let me move all these down. All right, do you guys see the document section up here? Okay, cool. So you'll just have to select that you want it to go under maybe my desktop, and then you can make a new folder and whatnot. And then, so I'm gonna make a new folder and just call it Zoom. And then I can make sure that it's saved under my location tab right here. So that's just an important step if you're wanting to save things directly to your computer. But if you do have that higher level Zoom plan, it can save it into the Zoom cloud. So it saves it automatically into the interwebs and you don't have to worry about using up your computer storage space. So just something important if you guys are going to be recording meetings. And then the profile section. So I'm using Stacy's account to present today, but say he wanted to create a profile picture. This is where you'd go under profile, and then you can select, maybe we want to use this beautiful photo of the lake as our profile picture, and I can adjust it, and then I can hit save, and it will now be my profile picture. So I would suggest using like a headshot, something professional if you'd like. And then you can edit your profile through here, change your subscription, and different things like that. And then we're not going to go into these details quite yet. I'm going to pop off of here. And then we'll talk about the video section. So whenever you're on Zoom, there's an option. If you hover, it might be at the top of your screen or at the bottom of your screen, but there's an option that says stop video or start video. And so if you are wanting to turn off your video, maybe you're about to sneeze or your kid comes running up and you don't want people to see, you can just simply hit that button, stop video. So I'm going to stop my video. So you guys now see, you should see the photo of the lake that pops up on my window. So it'll just show whatever profile picture you've selected, or it will just show your name. So that's just something, a little trick in case you just need to stop your video real quick. It will show that up. Okay, Tanika is saying that she's not seeing a photo. If you click on Stacy Woodhouse's name, do you see the lake photo? you'll have to go into your gallery and then select Stacy Woodhouse. Does anybody see the lake photo? Okay, cool. Perfect. And so now I'm going to restart my video so it will change from the lake photo to my video now. So you guys should see me now. So that's just something kind of cool that you can use. I have a colleague on the tabletop team who has a 4-month-old, and excuse me, she'll always come running up. She wants to be in the video, and so she'll just easily hit stop really quick. And then there's another feature. It's the third one over, called Manage Participants. And so can you guys see the little button that says Participants that just popped up on my screen? Okay, I'm going to expand it really big. So what you should be able to see is a listing of all the participants who are currently on this call. And so as the host, I can click to mute people. So like, for instance, if I wanted to, I'm going to pick on Kathy real quick. So I'm going to unmute her. Oops. It's not letting me. She might not have her microphone set up. Let me try to pick on Heather. I'll unmute you. Heather, if you want to say hi to everybody.
Good morning.
Awesome. So you can see that I have control as the host to mute and unmute people. And then I'm going to just mute her back real quick. And then as the host, I can also mute my. So really helpful if you need to like clear your throat or something, you can, and then unmute. All right. Excuse me. And then there's a tool that you can share your screen. And so I'm going to show you guys about the whiteboard feature, which I think is really cool. So if you're the host, you'll see a button that says New Share or Share Screen. And so you'll click on that, and there's a really great feature called Whiteboard. So I'm going to pop this up, and then you guys should be able to see it. So do you guys see a whiteboard that's now available? Okay, awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do now is show you guys some of the really cool tools that you can see on the whiteboard. So you can actually add text. So I think this is a really fun one, maybe if you're brainstorming with your team, or you want to do like, I've seen a lot of friends do like virtual happy hours, or, you know, maybe a virtual family call, and you guys just want to like do something creative. I love the whiteboard. So you can add text. So maybe I want to call this Zoom call April 7th, 2020. And so I can add text, I can drag and drop it around on my screen, I can add new text boxes. And someone just asked me if Chromebooks have that option, and it definitely should have that option. This is a feature that's on Zoom. And so all you have to do is when you're sharing your screen, select whiteboard. And so you'll be able to play around on this. And then there's another feature called draw. And so you'll click on draw, and you'll be able to, you know, create squiggly lines, different things like that. And then you can stamp. So if you wanted to use like arrows and stamp it on your whiteboard, you can. There's heart options, different things like that. There's also a spotlight tool. So say I wanted to spotlight some text. So I wanted to spotlight, like, you know, pay attention, guys, look at Zoom call April 7th. I could use a spotlight tool. And I'm having a couple questions pop open. So how do you get to the whiteboard? So when you're going down as the host, you should have a button that says screen share. And so you'll click on screen share, and then there'll be an option that says whiteboard. You can share your screen, whiteboard, from your iPhone or iPad. And so there should be an option there that says whiteboard. And you do have to be the host to be able to pop this open. I don't know if Zoom hides it from you guys, but can you see there's a window on my screen? I just think that Zoom might be hiding it. That says screen, whiteboard, iPhone, iPad. Do you guys see that, or do you just see the whiteboard? Okay, that's what I thought. So I'll take a screenshot of this and send it to you guys. And also Zoom has a really helpful video that I can share with you. But I think what Zoom does is it hides some of the host control features when I'm sharing the screen, just so you guys don't see it. But when you do select that share screen button, it will pop up. And then there's another button called eraser on the whiteboard. And so I can erase everything that I've done. Maybe I didn't like how it looked, so I want to completely clear it. And then I can also select different colors that I want to use. Maybe I want the text to be red, so I can start typing and it turns red. I can undo and I can redo options, and I can completely clear my whiteboard. So just a kind of unique option. And then you can allow participants to also play around with you on the whiteboard if you want. So just something else that's kind of a fun feature if you wanted to do that. And we're not going to do that today for the purpose of time, but it is a setting under the whiteboard. So something cool that you can do. So you can make it very collaborative, and you guys can use the whiteboard for whatever purposes you would like. All right. Now I'm going to turn my screen back on instead of the whiteboard. So you should see my screen. And then something else you can do as the host is there's a button that says pause share. And so I can pause, and now you should just see me, right? You don't see my computer screen anymore. So that's the button. And then you can say resume share, and you'll be able to start seeing my screen again. So now you should just see a giant chat screen now that I've resumed my share. So another feature. And then there is a button called Annotate. And so, yeah, everyone should be seeing my desktop right now. So there is a button that's called Annotate. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to stop my share real quick, and I'm going to pull up something that we can annotate. So I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to all annotate this. So there's a button that says Annotate, and you can actually draw on something. So do you guys see under your settings where it says Annotate? Trying to see if I might have to. So there should be a button. I have it enabled for you guys. It should be right right at the bottom. If you hover over it and it says Annotate, it looks like a pencil. Okay, it should, let's see. Okay. It says that I'm allowing my participants to annotate. So I'm not sure why it's not popping up. Let's see. Okay. So there should be a button that has like mute stop video down at the bottom when you hover over it. And then do you guys see a button that has it's under view options maybe, and then it has like a pencil that says annotate? I think Krista Krista, did you find it, and are you able to annotate with me? I think that might be Krista. Yeah. So you guys are. Yeah. Okay. So click on that pencil button that says annotate, and it should show you guys different options like draw, stamp, spotlight, eraser, things like that. Okay. I'm wondering I'll have to check on it. It might not work on certain types of computers, but I know a few of you are having it and you're clicking on the view options button. Okay. Okay, I'll check on it for you guys just to make sure. A few of you are saying that you don't have a view options button, so it might be something that it might not work on like a Chromebook or something like that. But I thought that it should, so I'm going to make a note just to get back to you guys on that to see if there's a way that you guys can get that option on a different type of computer. So I'll get back to you guys on that. I know some of you have found it and it's working. On mine as the host though, whenever you are hosting, you should be able to see it. It's right next to the screen share button and it says Annotate and it's a little pencil. I wish I could see one of, Heather, do you want to share your screen real quick? And let me see if I can see your options. I'm going to stop my share and I'll allow you to share your screen. Okay. So do you, can you pop open where you see me talking? Great, okay. Kind of hover down at the bottom and see if there's right next to where it says share screen, there's a little arrow maybe. Let's see if you have. Yeah, do you see view options down at the, it's up at the top. I see on my end, you're viewing Heather Barnes' screen and then there's a view options and you can click on it and hit annotate. And now I'm drawing on your screen. Do you see that on yours, Heather? Yeah, there she goes. Okay, so it's, if you guys are seeing it, it says you are viewing Heather Barnes' screen and then there's a view options and annotate. And so I can type. Can you guys see that? Okay, so we have a few people annotating, as you can see. So it's a pretty cool tool, and I want you guys to kind of play around with it if you're able to see this. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. I guess as a host, it's a different kind of setting. So thank you, Heather, for being a good sport and showing it. So it's right up under that view options. You're viewing Heather Barnes' screen, view options, you click on it, and then it has annotate. And then you'll click on that and you'll be able to circle things, type on things. So a fun example of how you could use this is perhaps you are creating like a new product, or you have like a new brochure that somebody created, your graphic designer, and you want to annotate what you like or what you don't like. So this will be a really fun tool. Maybe you circle a part of the brochure like, oh, I don't really like that part. Let me circle that. And so it's just something kind of cool. I use it a lot for myself. Like I might be annotating certain things when I'm talking to my graphic designer, because it's just really hard to relay sometimes that you want to change a little something on a brochure, for instance. So this is a fun option. So cool. So I think you guys got it now. So you will just have to look up at the top, or it might be at the bottom. It says you are viewing Heather Barnes' screen, and then there's a little button that says view options, and you'll drop down to annotate. And then it should pull up a whole entire slew of settings that says mouse, text, draw, stamp, arrow. And Courtney, I know that you're having a little bit of trouble. If you can take a screenshot or just like take a picture on your phone and email me what you're seeing, that would be awesome. You can email it. I'll pop in my personal email to the chat just so I can see what you're looking at. And then hopefully I can help you out there. But I think a few of y'all are seeing it now. So, Amy, let's go ahead and Heather, I'm gonna stop your sharing. Perfect. Okay. So Heather, or I'm sorry, not Heather, Amy was saying, how does the host allow participants to annotate? So there is a setting, and I wish I could show you guys this on the back end. Zoom just doesn't let me show the host settings to you, which I thought it would. But so whenever you're going to share your screen and you want to annotate, you'll hit share screen, and then you'll pick whatever you want to annotate. So I'm going to annotate this Zoom presentation. And then there is a button that says annotate, and that's when you can start annotating as the host. But then there is a button, let me find it. that should say, it says more and it's like a dot dot. And I'm actually going to take a picture of this so I can send it to you guys so you can see what I'm looking at, and I'll follow up with Sherry after this so she can send it to everybody. But there's a button up at the top that says dot dot and it says more. And then right now I have it enabled. So there's an option that says disable participants annotation. And so I could select that, or I can go back to the more and I can hit allow participants to annotate. So I'm taking a photo of this, and Amy will definitely get that over to you, and we'll send it with this presentation so everybody can see the settings if you were having a little bit of trouble with that. Cool. Okay. And I know Kim is saying that she's having a little bit of trouble with the Chromebook. And so that's something I'm going to look into for you, Kim. I'll get back to you on that. I'm not sure why it's not working, and I'm sorry about that, but we'll definitely look at that for you, and I'll get back to you to see if there's some kind of setting perhaps. But yeah, cool. So we're going to go ahead and get back to the presentation. So those are some of the fundamental controls that I wanted to go over. I really think that some of the most helpful tools for you guys are going to be that chat tool. The annotate button is pretty cool. And then of course, sharing your screen like I'm doing right now. So you guys can see, a presentation or different things that I want to pop up. So now this is a little bit more advanced, and it's something that you will have on the host end, but I wanted to teach you guys how to learn about a breakout room and how to use that. So this is particularly helpful if maybe you're hosting a virtual conference, or maybe you have a team of 10 people and you want to break up into small groups. So Zoom will actually allow you to create breakout rooms. And say for that group of 10, you want to do, 2 different breakout rooms, a group of 5 and then another group of 5. You can do that, and you can talk amongst yourselves, and then you can come back into the larger Zoom meeting. So a pretty cool feature. And I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear my computer sound, and we'll play this video.
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here. On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual classroom and split it up into smaller groups or sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom. And that breakout room button will actually be right here. This is a button that only your hosts or co-hosts will be able to see. And right now we don't have a co-host in the session. If I manage my participants, I can hover over Catherine, for example, to make her a co-host. So she'll see this button now as well. When we're ready to split the group into smaller sessions, I can easily click this button to get a pop-up window asking me how many rooms I'd like to assign out and how many participants per room. For this example, it's recommending, since there are 6 people, we can split it up into 2 rooms. I can do this automatically or manually. So if we click on the automatic button, it'll generate those breakout rooms for us. Certainly if there's anyone I want to swap out, maybe I want to move Michael to the other room, I can exchange him for a different participant. Once I'm ready to open all rooms, I'll click this Open All Rooms button, and our participants will be able to join the sessions that we've created for them. So we'll slowly see those people join. One thing that's really important to note is that as a host or a co-host, you can actually hop between the different rooms to talk to the participants. You can see here I have the Join button. Now everybody's left to go to the rooms. I can broadcast a message to everybody and say, wrapping up in 1 minute. And this will broadcast the message, and then I can close the rooms, which gives them a 1-minute timer to rejoin our session. We'll give everybody a second to rejoin, and I'll show you 1 or 2 additional features with breakout rooms. There we go. We can kind of see everybody kind of popping back in. Now everybody's rejoined the main session. You'll see that I have the opportunity to reopen these rooms again, which is really great. If you have a very long session or a very long virtual class, you can split into these virtual smaller groups as often as you'd like. And the additional options here will allow you to automatically close breakout rooms after a specified amount of time. You can also change the countdown timer to be 30 seconds or 2 minutes if you like. I'll show you a setting where you can also pre-assign folks to be in your breakout room before the classroom starts. You'll want to navigate over to the class that's already been created in your Zoom portal. Under the Meetings tab, you can find your meeting. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see if we open this to re-edit it, I have the opportunity to pre-assign a breakout room here, and I can create the rooms and upload a CSV with all of my participants in advance so that their names are already populated in the room when I start the session. That's basically how you can run breakout rooms. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions, please visit us at support.zoom.us.
All right, so that was a little bit about some of the breakout room features. And I'm going to turn my computer audio off. All right, so hopefully you guys found that helpful about breakout rooms. And like I said, I will be sending out this presentation to you guys. And I'm also going to include a great video from Zoom that lets you see all of the host navigation buttons down at the bottom that I thought was super helpful. And Zoom has a ton of great videos on there too. Like if you're a little lost about something, and I'll be sure to send that all to Sherry so she can send it out to you guys. But that's just a great tool. I really enjoy using breakout rooms, especially for a larger team, and you want to like break up and maybe brainstorm, for 5 minutes, then come back all together and present your notes from the brainstorm. I think that's a great way that you could use it. I could even see it like, I know I'm going back to like church examples, but maybe you're with a church group and you wanted to have like smaller breakout sessions for like a Sunday school from after like a larger sermon, and then you break out to Sunday school. That could be something kind of cool too, if you're using it for those type of purposes. All right, and so now I want to have a little fun. So Zoom allows you to create custom backgrounds. So you can literally create anything, like I put from outer space to the mountains. You can play around with lots of fun options. So we will go over that in just a second after I share something kind of funny with you guys. So this happened not on Zoom, but there's a similar tool if you have Microsoft. It's called Microsoft Teams. So this person's boss, she's right here, turned herself into a potato that's under the ground, and her colleagues just could not stop laughing. You see her over there like, oh my gosh. But I thought this was pretty funny and kind of a nice little icebreaker during this presentation. But just make sure when you're using virtual backgrounds that you don't do anything too crazy like this, because the boss could not figure out how to turn off the setting. So she literally was a talking potato head the entire class. So just something kind of fun. So Zoom virtual backgrounds will also play a video from Zoom, and then I'm going to change my background after we watch this, so you guys can see how you can do it. I will tell you that it definitely depends on what you have behind you. So in this room that I'm currently in right now, it actually works pretty well. You have to have like pretty good lighting for the most part. You don't want to have a lot of like different textures and colors behind you for the virtual background to work. Otherwise, it'll look kind of choppy. And this video will go over that for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my computer sound back on.
The Zoom virtual background is available for your meetings, webinars, and your Zoom rooms. It's supported on Windows, Mac, Linux, and iOS devices. To get started, log into your web portal at zoom.us. Once you're logged in, navigate to your settings on the left-hand menu. And in your settings, click on or scroll down to In Meeting Advanced. Under In Meeting Advanced, you'll find the virtual background feature. You enable it by clicking the slider to the right. And the next step, we'll log into our desktop application and configure our virtual background. Once you're logged into your desktop client, click on your Settings tab. And first, take a look at the video. To get the best results from the virtual background, we'll want to make sure that our video is bright and evenly lit. This lighting is too dark and will result in something like this. This lighting is way too bright. This lighting is much better. When applying my virtual background image or video, having a well-lit workspace is key. In addition to lighting, I'm also utilizing a physical backdrop or a green screen. Your system may allow you to apply a background image or video without a green screen, but where possible, using a green screen will always yield the best results. When using a backdrop, be mindful not to wear any clothing that's the same color or very similar to the color of my backdrop. And this is why we recommend using a green screen, as it's the easiest to work with. My camera can also make a big difference. In addition to the built-in web camera you might have on your laptop or your computer, an external HD web camera will also yield better results. And when applying your images or videos, follow our resolution guides. You can find our system requirements and resolution guides by visiting our help center at support.zoom.us and searching for virtual background. Zoom will automatically detect the color of my backdrop when applying my image or video. However, if there's an inaccuracy, I can correct that by clicking on the color icon here and telling Zoom what color my backdrop is. I can also add my own images and videos. Click the plus icon and choose whether you'd like to add an image or a video, and these can be uploaded directly from your computer. Zoom will apply the virtual background that you previously selected. But if you're in a meeting and you'd like to change this, click on the little arrow just to the right of your video icon and select Video Settings. Once your video settings are open, click Virtual Background and select the new background that you'd like to use. Thank you for taking the time to view this short tutorial video. Our Zoom experts host free and interactive live training webinars daily. You can sign up at Zoom.
All right, so now that we've watched that, I wanted to show you guys a little bit about how you can actually, let me see, pull up the virtual background. Let me see. All right, you pop out of this screen. All right, so under the settings, you'll see like mute and then your video button, and then you can select the drop down arrow that says choose virtual background. So can everybody see my, let me share my screen, hold on. All right, can everybody, I don't know if you're able to see this button. All right, let me reshare. Okay, can you guys see this where it says choose virtual background? If you can just chat with me real quick. Okay, cool. So you guys can see it. So it's under the settings. Like I said, you'll select that little drop down arrow that says choose virtual background, and then your settings tool will pop up. And so this was the setting that I told you guys we'd come back to and play around with and have a little bit of fun. So Zoom automatically has some virtual backgrounds that you can select. And so I really love, it makes me feel like I'm on the beach, but I really love this one. You'll see now I'm turned into Kristen lounging on the beach, and you can see, you know, some of it is a little distorted when I move around, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. And that's because, like he said in the instructional video, that the lighting is pretty great in this room. Another option is that I know Stacy Woodhouse at the Warren County EDC has a green screen. So it's something you can easily purchase on Amazon, or once things open back up, you can definitely go to a video store and they can help you out with that. But it's literally just like a giant green cloth that you hang up behind you, and it helps whenever you want to do a virtual background. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like. This is a video option. And then here's another video option, the Northern Lights in the background, you can see. And then I'll show you what it looks like with just a still image. So this is something that they have built in. You can see me moving around. There's the grass section. And then you can also add your own virtual background. So this is one that I added a little bit later. Our photographer took this at Lake Gaston. I thought it looked absolutely beautiful. And so I decided I wanted to use it for my virtual background today. For the fun section. But what you can do is choose your own virtual background. There's a little arrow button, add image or video. So like he said, you can go in on the back end of Zoom and see what their settings are for this, but you want to make sure that you're picking a photo that is really nice quality. So I say that because if you're using something that maybe is like taken from your phone that's more low resolution or a little bit blurry, it's not going to look that great. So I would recommend, if you have a camera or if you have access to some of those like stock image websites, and I'm going to type one in that I really love. It's called Pixabay, and it's totally free, pixabay.com. And it's a great one. It allows you to go and download free images that are high resolution. And so you could pop that in as your virtual background. So I can select add image, and I'm going to pick a new Lake Gaston sunset. And so now you'll see I have a new virtual background. So it's just something kind of fun. My brother used it last night on our Zoom family call, and his lighting was really, really bad. And so you could barely see any, like his face was kind of half distorted and things like that. So lighting is definitely key when you're selecting a virtual background. So, and then Heather is saying, can you set it so the same background image shows up on behind everyone? I don't believe that you can. That's a really good question. I think that it's just for you. So I think you have to individually set whatever background you want. And so that's under that settings tool that the individual from Zoom had mentioned. But good question. I'll definitely double check on that, but I am like 90% sure that you can't have everybody have the same background as you. So that's a fun feature right there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to keep this as my virtual background for now. And then I'm going to go back to the presentation. And we're getting close, and I'll open it up for some questions after. So let's go back to Google Chrome and open up the presentation. Okay. All right. So now I just wanted to go over how you can collect info and see who attended your Zoom meeting. So like I mentioned way earlier in the presentation, under your settings, there's a tool that you can say require people to register for your meeting. And so this is what it looks like after you've selected that you want people to register. So say I wanted Heather to register for my meeting. She'll get a link and it says meeting registration. It'll say the topic of my meeting. And this is just an example that I did. The description, and then the time and the time zone. And then Heather would just insert her name, Heather, last name, Barnes, and then confirm her email address. And so as the host, it will now log that into my backend on Zoom so I can see who is registered. So you can gather all the information from meeting attendees before they join. And it's found, like I said a little bit earlier, in the My Meetings tab of the Zoom web app. So you'll have to go into this tab and go under the meeting tab right here in order to collect that. And then you'll have to set up a form that attendees must fill out before they can join the meeting. And so this is the auto form that it populates, but you can also set it to ask other questions if you want. So maybe you want to do like an icebreaker question. You could do that when people are registering. So like I mentioned, Zoom provides standard fields. That's the name. They provide like company affiliation if you want, and you can use check boxes for this form. So it's just something kind of cool. You'll just have to jump over to the tab that they call custom questions to add that in. And I know we're running short on time, so I'm going to quickly hurry and allow for you guys some questions. So the last section is gathering attendee information. So you can get attendee information from a report once your meeting is finished. So I'm going to see if, excuse me, we can get some attendee information. So you'll have to go into your Zoom account management and then a report section. And then you'll look down for usage reports and click on the meeting to find what you would like to see. And I'm sorry, Tarsha, I think she just said, will a recording of this Zoom be available to us by email today? I can definitely get that over to you. I'll send it to Sherry to send out. So if you guys want to refer back to some of these steps, feel free. So you'll look for usage reports, click the meeting to find the meeting you want, select the report type and the date range, and then it will automatically generate a report for you, and it's a .csv file. So it will generate a report that says who attended your meeting and their information. And then if you want to generate an attendee list, you do have to be the host of the meeting. and you have to be in a role where usage reports are enabled. So that means that you have to be an administrator or an owner or the host of the meeting. And I will say that you are not able to get these attendee reports with a basic account. So keep that in mind. If your business wants for you to gather all of the attendee information, you have to have a higher level plan. So the Pro or one of the even higher plans that Zoom has available. So I wanted to open up, we have just a couple more minutes. If anybody has some questions, please drop that into the chat button. And then I just wanted to say thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry about Zoom. I thought that it would be able to show the controls from the host end, but I will be sending out a really helpful video that has where you can actually see all the host controls down at the bottom of the screen. So you'll get this presentation and also that video, and hopefully that'll help a little bit to okay, let's see. Candace said, can you have breakout rooms with the Pro plan? You should be able to. I will also check on that too for you. And thank you guys so much for attending, and I hope you found this helpful. The next class that we're having is on Thursday, and so Thursday will be all about Google Suite. So if you guys want to learn how to use Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Sheets, Google Docs, Google Slides, which I actually built this presentation in. We'll be covering all of those different apps, and Google has a ton of great tools. So I think it'll be quite helpful for you guys, especially while you're working remote right now. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm glad that you're all able to use the chat tool, and I'll definitely get with, I believe it was Courtney who had some questions about the annotation tool. I'll get with you directly on that, Courtney. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and just leave this screen up for a couple more minutes, and I'll definitely make a note to get with Sherry to send over this presentation for you guys. All right. Thank you all. Y'all have a great day. And if you have questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'll pop in my email into the chat, my personal email. And if you want to email me now, feel free to do so. Thank you all.